What up, everybody? This is your boy Dedrian from House of Rasslin, and this is my review for the December 30th episode of AEW Rampage. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification so that way you are notified when the House of Wrestling drops its latest content. Follow me, Dedrian180, on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. So, tonight's AEW Rampage. This was a fun show. I watched it right after SmackDown, which I always do, and I love it because it's just a continuation of the fun and enthusiasm that I watched earlier, and it's just a nice complementary alternative to the WWE. And I'm going to say that in 2023, AEW is a nice complementary alternative to the WWE. Some people may like it. Oh well, it is what it is. It's fun, especially Friday nights. And especially the episode of SmackDown that happened right before Rampage. Man, so beautiful. But before I get into the show, I'm going to give you guys the results. So we had Orange Cassidy defeat Trent Beretta. You had Kip Sabian defeat an unnamed talent. They mentioned his name a little bit. They didn't have a graphic or anything, so just call him unnamed talent. We had Jade Cargill defeat Kiera Hogan in a very good match. And then in the main event, you have Swerve Strickland defeat Wheeler Yuta in a fantastic match. So those are the results for AEW Rampage for December 30th, 2022. Mind you, this is the last Rampage of 2022. Excuse me, guys. So, let's start off with this first match. Orange Cassidy, Trent Beretta. I really enjoyed this match. I enjoyed it for the fact that I believe this is one of the first times that Orange Cassidy wrestled one of the best friends. And you could tell the way this match started, it was kind of like, I don't want to say they were joking, but, Orange Cassidy does his thing and, he's teasing him and everything. But then you could see Trent Beretta get a little upset and a little perturbed, and man, this was some good stuff. Orange Cassidy, man, ever since he's become the All-Atlantic champion, he is like taking his stuff to another level. And honestly, it's crazy because, man, it's hard to, how would I put it? His run as All-Atlantic champion is so underrated because of the quality of matches that he's had. They've been very entertaining. You can tell that there's a bigger emphasis on him being more aggressive, just gritty and everything. And he still puts in the soft kicks and everything, but he uses it more as a decoy, as opposed to he was just doing it as, ha ha ha, joke's on you. Now he's doing it more as a decoy, and it's like, I remember I mentioned this past year, but man, could we see Orange Cassidy as a heel in 2023? Something to think about. Keep that in mind. But man, it started off, they shook hands. Like I said, Orange Cassidy was taunting Trent. Then there was a spot where Orange Cassidy threw Trent out. Trent threw Orange Cassidy out. Then Orange Cassidy did a top rope splash on Trent. Then there was a point where Trent Beretta missed a spear going into a barricade, and then Orange Cassidy just executed a nasty dropkick on him. Then there was a bunch of back and forth reversals with Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta. Then later on in the match, you had Penelope Ford come down, which distracted Trent Beretta, which allowed Orange Cassidy to execute the Orange Punch. 1, 2, 3, they win. And then afterwards, mind you, Kip Sabian was on commentary. After the match, Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor, there was like a big disagreement, and he just walked off. Didn't shake hands or anything. He just walked off, and it's like, ooh. And then you had Kip Sabian just like grooving to Orange Cassidy's music, just dancing and everything. And I've said this before. Kip Sabian reminds me of a Batman villain. And I don't want to say the strong villains. He actually reminds me of a Batman mobster. That's who he reminds me of. He's the guy that works with the supervillain. Like, he's the middleman. He is the one that does all the, like, that's who reminds me of. But I love his look and everything. So right after, and this is something that I'm noticing about AEW. Ever since the interview came out with, I believe it's Mike Mansory, who's the head of, was it the production and everything, the fluidity. Like, you have this match come down, and then, like, it's not decent, small little things that helps with the story. So as Orange Cassidy and Kip Sabian are crossing paths, mind you, Penelope Ford's down there at the ringside. Kip Sabian goes in the ring, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll be back." You know, Kip Sabian's in action, and I was like, "Ooh, that's some decent fluidity." Mind you, it's a little. Many of you watching this, oh, it's a little thing or everything, but it's those little things that a lot of people notice. That's just like, oh man, okay, there's a fluidity to the show, which has been one of the criticisms that AEW has had ever since it started, that they aren't consistent with being fluid with their show. Like, one show would be just fluid, and then the next show, and then the other show fluid, and then it'd be revert. Like, but lately it has been very fluid, and man, that little thing, I was just like, all right, they're gonna do some good stuff in 2023. So this match between Kip Sabian and the young lane talent, I believe is Ediba that they pronounced his name. So I mean, he basically did a cannonball strike, grabbed Orange Cassidy's elbow pad, which is at ringside, took it off, did a mocking orange punch, pinned the guy 1, 2, 3. That was the match. But before, in between Kip Sabian coming down and his match, you had a promo between Darby Allin and Sting with Tony Schiavone. Man, oh man. This was a good story. This was a good promo. And shout out to Sting, the veteran. I've always enjoyed Sting's promos ever since he started. And Sting has been, I gotta say, my favorite wrestler of all time. Because of when he speaks with an inflection. He speaks with, if you want to call it, conviction. And he's assertive, and he's punctual. And he's also motivating at the same time as he's talking. And this promo that Darby Allin gave, he was talking about doubt, you know, city doubted him, fans doubted him, his dad doubted him. It's like, I don't even think, you know, this city cares for me or anything like that. And Sting just, man, he just lit it to him. He's like, what, you're going to feel sorry for yourself? What, you're going to have the chip on your shoulder? And it felt good hearing Sting say that, because it's like, man, I know he's 63, but as he was saying, I'm like, man, this is taking me back to like 1993 Sting, where it's like the blonde flat top. It's like, man, if that dude can go right now, man, if he was 30 years younger, man, that dude would, whoo, man, he could go. And looks at Darby's like, who cares what people think? That's the thing. Joe's a killer. You need to stop worrying about what other people think and focus on getting your TNT title back. It's just like, ooh, okay. And it, with that promo, got me thinking, I'm like, nah, Samoa Joe's not losing that TNT title. Then it's like, maybe we'll lose that title, because one, it's in Seattle. It's it's Darby's hometown, Danielson's hometown, and Swerve Strickland's hometown. And I believe all three guys are going to be on that show. So I think all three guys are probably going to win on Dynamite, which I don't have no problem with that, because AEW has done a really good job of booking wrestlers in their hometown where they put them over, which makes for great TV. So I'm really looking forward to that Darby Allin Samoa Joe match. That last time they fought, freaking damn, Samoa Joe beat the crap out of Darby Allin, and it's gonna be interesting how this plays up. Man, Samoa Joe's been on a tear as a heel, very entertaining. You could tell he's having a ball and he's rolling. So really looking forward to that match next week. Then we get to a backstage segment with Preston Vance and Jose the assistant. This was basically Preston Vance. He tells her, my new name is Pero Pararoso or something like that. I believe that's what his Spanish. They should have had Jose, the assistant, say his name, because I don't know how good his Spanish is, but kind of broken a little bit at the end. It was like, wait a minute, Pero, like, huh? But he asked Lexi Nair, who am I wrestling next week? I don't know who it is. And then she asked him, well, how do you feel about what you did to the Dark Order? And he's like, I have no remorse. And then, she asked him as far as, what he said to -1. And he's like, if I would have known that would have gotten me more attention, I would have done that 3 years ago. It's like, damn. Like, man, he's really frustrated. Mind you, when I say he's really frustrated, his character's really frustrated. So they're getting that across a lot with Preston Vance. I remember seeing him without his mask on, I believe, BTE, and I believe on Sammy's vlog like 2 years ago. And as soon as I looked, I was like, man, why the hell does this guy have a mask on? Like, dude, this guy's got a look. And I'm really interested to see how they use him in the ring. It's going to be fun. I just can't wait till hopefully Andrade comes back, a couple months down the road, because he did have the surgery on, I believe it was his pec or something like that. So I'm just waiting for him to come back and for those guys to light it up, because they do need some tag teams and trios, because it's kind of seeing the same teams over and over. It's like we kind of need depth. And I believe, honestly, right now, mind you, all this that I'm saying that they need more teams, this has been 2022. I believe 2023 is the beginning of the year. You're going to start seeing guys that you haven't seen in a while on TV, because they're going to have the new set and new design. So they're going to push that, and then, just bring in some fresh newness and just start the year off good. And we shall see. So then you get Jon Moxley in the ring, and you got Cowboy Shit Chance. He mentions that he knocked Hangman Page in another dimension. He calls AEW the major leagues, and he tells them, see your doctors about January 11th, because I'll be waiting. And of course, January 11th is the Los Angeles show from the Kia Forum, and that's a big show. And I'll get into the other thing that's been hyped up about that show. So we could get Hangman Page and Jon Moxley at that LA show, and man, you already got the mystery tag partner for Saraya. You have the match 7 between the Elite and Death Triangle. And then we're possibly going to get Hangman Page and Jon Moxley. If I were AEW for that show, and I mind you, this sidetracking from this review, if I were AEW, I would book that Moxley Hangman Page first. And then, if the mystery partner for Saraya is Sasha Banks, I would book that as the main event. I would make people watch the whole show to see the reveal. I would book it that way and have the Death Triangle and the Elite be in the middle of the show. Or you could swap it. Start it off with the match 7 to kick off the show, and then you have Moxley and Hangman Page, and then have the show end with the mystery partner, if it is Sasha Banks, because you don't want to go through that quickly and then people just don't have a reason to watch the show. You want to leave them waiting, like, okay, who is it? I believe if they do that, they're gonna get a big rating for that show, very big rating. So really looking forward to that. And then Moxley finishes the promo, keep your hands up, bitch. And that's it. That's what he called Hangman Page. So I'm looking forward to that Moxley Hangman Page match. Then we go to a backstage segment with Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and Satnam Singh. And we're getting the Acclaimed and Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett next week on Dynamite. It is what it is. Like, it would be cool if Jeff Jarrett was, for me, it'd be cool if Jeff Jarrett was a manager for a young heel coming up. That would be cool. But putting him with Jay Lethal and Satnam Singh, like, is just okay. But it's not something that's drawn me to, like, oh man, I can't wait to see this. It's more, okay, when is this going to be over with? I know this is a filler. Let's go on to something else. Like, that's the feeling that I have. And mind you, this isn't a knock. Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh, or Jeff Jarrett is just how it's presented on TV. That is just like maybe if it was something else, it'd be cool. But it's like, it's just, something's just like, Although it is funny and cool when Jeff Jarrett mentions slap nuts. That's funny. That's hilarious. I like that saying back when he was in WCW. And I think he used it a few times in TNA. But that's a funny damn segment. But Jeff Jarrett, he mentions Max Caster. You know, you shouldn't have never done that rap because I'm going to make sure to end your career. We shall see what happens on Dynamite. Then we get Kiera Hogan versus Jade Cargill. Shout out to Kiera Hogan, man. She made this a match. Kudos to Jade Cargill because lately, of course, she has her squash matches, but lately they've been really adding more depth to Jade Cargill's character as far as in the ring, where now there's certain aspects of her character that's vulnerable at certain points, and it's like, ooh, okay, as she's continuing to win, like, she's starting to get vulnerable, and it's like, someone's gonna get that upset win. But yeah, this match, this was a fun match. This was good. I will say this is one of the more solid matches from Jade Cargill. And mind you, Kiera Hogan is a former Impact Wrestling Tag Team Champion. I believe she won the Knockout Champion. Comment below if she, let me know if she won the title. But yep, this was a good one, man. Jade, she came out with Red Velvet and Layla Gray, and that's the, outside of this match being really good, that was the big thing about this match, because at a certain point in this match, Jade Cargill, she got out the ring because you had Layla Gray, she was holding Kiera Hogan. Red Velvet was just looking and everything, and Jade Cargill was going to slap Kiera Hogan, and Red Velvet prevented her, grabbed her hand, and she's like, what? And she went to try to yank her away, she went to slap again, and she stopped her again. It's like, ooh. Okay, we see where this is going. So, you had that. Then Kiera Hogan did a reverse bulldog. That led to Kiera Hogan getting a slight advantage, which it didn't because Jade Cargill wound up hitting her. Was it the pump kick? Yeah. And then she did the jaded 1, 2, 3. She wins. And then afterwards, at the end, you got Red Velvet just walking off, and it's just like, man, oh man. And I like this. For one, freshens up Red Velvet. And if you haven't seen Red Velvet's previous match when she returned, like, she was showing so much aggression, grit, physicality, no nonsense, and it's like she was laying in some punches. So it's like, all right, Red Velvet versus Jade Cargill. You know, is that gonna be Battle of the Belts? I believe that's next week or the week after, or something like that. I don't know. I gotta check. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. You know, it could go many ways. One, I hope it's not a swerve. Reason why, you're already done that storyline with Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter back at Grand Slam. So it's like, I hope they're not going that route and doing that, because, like, all right, it's a repeat of that story. If it is a split with Red Velvet and Jade Cargill, is she going to have someone align with her? You know, is she going to align with Kiera Hogan? You know, I could see Layla Gray being Jade Cargill's lackey. And that's not a knock on her or anything like it. Just if you've been watching Jade Cargill and her segments and Layla Gray fits perfectly with Jade Cargill. She fits, man. That is a great combination, man. And I hope that as this continues, they give Layla Gray more, because there's a lot of potential with her as a wrestler and just as a performer. Like, there's so much potential. It's like you got something there with her. Just keep her with Jade Cargill as her assistant, and it could be, quite frankly, Layla Gray can be to Jade Cargill what Rebel is to Britt Baker. There you go. Except Layla Gray is, can go into, usually wrestles. Rebel, when was the last time Rebel actually wrestled? It's been a while. So yeah, that's the only difference. Layla Gray actually wrestles, and Rebel just mostly at ringside. So that would be pretty cool. Then we get a promo for the Jamie Hayter, Britt Baker, Saraya mystery partner. Jamie Hayter mentions, "We will show out, and we don't care who you bring." This promo said a lot of stuff without saying a lot of stuff. One, they showed footage of Shida and Toni Storm, and in this promo, it did not allude to Toni Storm or Shida being the partner. So it's really starting to get the reels rolling as far as, okay, maybe this isn't Shida or Toni Storm. Maybe, just maybe, it is one Sasha Banks. And later on, they actually did it. They emphasized this match twice. I believe it was after this segment. Comment below. Let me know if you guys remember that they emphasized the mystery partner match. They showed the match graphic right after the Jamie Hayter promo. And then they emphasized it again during the Swerve, the Swerve Yuta match. So, like I said, and go back and watch my video with Sasha Banks on the thumbnail. Could AEW have a major tease on the same day as Wrestle Kingdom? Now, this ties into what an article that was released on, was it Yahoo Japan, from I believe it's the owner of forgive me if I'm wrong. I believe it was the owner of Stardom. I did post the link within our community section on YouTube. You could check that out. I put up the graphic and everything. It has the link and everything. It does have the English translation. And he addressed the rumor. His last name's Bushard or something like that. And he addressed the rumor, and he's like, yeah, she may show up at Wrestle Kingdom. So this all ties into this match because they emphasized it, in Excalibur had some verbiage that I've been saying this for a while. They're going to tell us who the partner is without telling us who the partner is. And he mentioned next week we're going to find out more on who the mystery partner for Saraya will be. Paraphrasing. But they're alluding, like, that's the direction they're going into. It's like, okay. We shall see. So I'm really looking forward to that show next week. Or actually this week, next week's Dynamite. That's going to be a packed show. I'm looking forward to Wrestle Kingdom. So it's going to be a busy day in AEW. And like I said, if it is who we've been speculating since this match was announced, if it's Sasha Banks, who is Saraya's partner in Los Angeles, that is going to be one of the biggest pops in AEW history and pro wrestling history. And I would not be surprised if it's just as loud as CM Punk's pop when he returned at the United Center for the first dance back in 2021. I would not be surprised if it's just the same. But they're alluding to it, so we shall see. So after that, you had Mark Sterling issues a pro bono to Bryan Danielson. Next week, we're getting Tony Nese versus Bryan Danielson. I am looking forward to that match because, man, Tony Nese can go, Bryan Danielson can go, and that's one of those matches, and I know people are like, oh, this sucks. Why do they have this match? Why do they have that? And why do they... like Tony Khan said in the interview with Grapsody, sometimes wrestlers want to compete. Sometimes wrestlers want to see who's the best. From that, then it's like, oh, I'm better than this. Let me go after a title. Stop overcomplicating storylines. But no, I'm looking forward to that Tony Nese Bryan Danielson match, man. That is going to be... It's going to be one of those matches. Do not sleep on that match because that's going to be a really good match. Then we get, of course, the backstage interview with Mark Henry, with Blackpool Combat Club, Wheeler Yuta, Claudio, and Moxley. With Mogo affiliates, you have Parker Bordeaux and the other guy, which they haven't given him a name yet, and Swerve Strickland. Freaking Moxley refers to saying Strickland's kill shot from his days in Lucha Underground. That was sweet. Swerve Strickland responds, I want to get dirty and grimy. And freaking Wheeler Yuta calls his two, Parker Bordeaux and the other guy, tattoo redo rejects. And you heard the crowd pop a little bit. It was like, oh. This match, please go back and watch this match. There was a lot of beautiful chain wrestling. These guys showcased their agility within the reversals and the counters they were doing. This was sweet, slick. They got great chemistry. Man, 2023, I hope. And let me preface this. Not only hope, but I do think Swerve Strickland will get some gold in AEW. Mind you, he had the tag team gold. He's going to get either the All-Atlantic, the TNT title. Don't know about the world title because MJF's going to have that locked down for pretty much the whole year. But I do think he is going to get some gold. I'm really looking forward to it, man, because, man, this match and most of the single matches he's had, it's just, damn, banger after banger. Like, man, this is a good match. The way this match ended, man. So, Swerve Strickland ran into the referee. Wheeler Yuta does a top rope move. He tries to jump, and Swerve Strickland low blows him. Does the day ML driver thing, whatever it's called. Pins him 1, 2, 3. Like I said, man, this match was... This was a great match. This was a fun match. And it's so great to see the growth of Wheeler Yuta, considering where he was a year ago. And to see where he is now. Man, what you could tell in this match, he is super confident and comfortable. It showed in the match, and I enjoyed this match. This was fun. Go back and watch this match. Swerve Strickland, man, that he's gonna hold some single gold soon. He is gonna hold it real soon. But overall, man, this was a fun show. The pacing was good. The production, shout out to, I believe his name's Michael Mansory. That's the head of the TV production and executive producer. I believe that's what he is, what his title is or something like that. But you can tell, you can see the fluidity in AEW, Dynamite, and Rampage. It's there, and I believe they're holding off on some stuff. And I've been saying that the previous review, but I do think outside of storylines, I do believe they're holding off on a lot of production things that they want to implement on the show for that new look, where it gives off that fresh vibe, where it's like, no, we're not going to do it here. we're going to do it, the first Dynamite of 2023. So, man, I'm looking forward to it. Moxley, Hangman Page, possibly at the Los Angeles show. The Saraya mystery partner. The intrigue is building. We'll find out more information next week on Dynamite. If it is who it said, we've been speculating. Man, that pop, man, it's going to be good. So, overall, man, this was a fun show. A nice complimentary alternative to SmackDown. That's how I will say it. It was a nice complimentary alternative to SmackDown. It was fun. We'll see what happens with Trent Beretta. Could we be seeing a breakup with the best friends, Jade Cargill and Red Velvet? We might be getting a match sooner than later, but Red Velvet, man, she's got that look. And by look, man, she's got that look. Like she's taken her game to another level. And I don't know, man. Other than that, man, this was a fun show. I enjoyed it and just looking forward to 2023. Thank you to all my subscribers. Again, thank you guys, those who subscribe lately in the past week or so. Man, you guys helped me hit a mark that I knew I could hit, but I had to put the work in to get to this goal. And man, this time last year, I was 12 subscribers away from 88 or 100. I had 88 subscribers. And, to look now and I'm at 443 subscribers. It's amazing, man. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I hope that you're entertained and it's a form of escapism from me sharing my fandom of professional wrestling. Of all the promotions that I cover, I am a fan of. And I hope you guys are enjoying it. And thank you guys. This is my review for AEW Rampage, the December 30th episode of AEW Rampage. The last AEW Rampage for 2022. And this might be my last review for 2022. I'm going to try to fit in the Wow Women of Wrestling review. I don't know if it's a new episode. I'll try to fit it in and record it and upload it. That might be my last review. But, man, thank you guys so much. With that,